Yo, what's up? Sunday morning. This is the usual. This is the usual spot. Feeling good. A little tired. It's recently been a hard drive to get this deadline done for um, a certain book you all probably know, but I'm sure I'll be able to talk about that later. For now, I want to talk about other things. I've got like a few different things I want to talk about besides the my clickbaity intro title for this thing. So, namely, we'll talk about some storytelling, like issues that I see with most books, and just weird, oddly, like a lot of the professional stuff. I mean, I've seen a lot of pro books, but also just like Netflix shows, movies, and one last night I watched on. I know Netflix is trash these days, but and a lot of Hollywood is. But recently, I've had a interesting occurrence where I like really start noticing the problems in stories. But oh, what's up, Kenneth? How you doing, man? It's a slow roll morning for me. Like I don't know how it is with working toward deadlines for you, but like eye strain is really my biggest issue right now. My eyes are just like twitching from staring at stuff too long. Besides that, it's going well. I think I'm on track for landing the deadline and whatnot. I think that's the goal. So Star Circuit has got a couple cool updates. And one really big one that I have not talked about yet. It's kind of like mixed feelings here because I'm working with a printer, Comic Impressions, down here in Florida, and they were really good for a long time, and a lot of people have good experience with them. But ever since the shortage of paper and COVID and whatnot, and shortage of just staff in general, it's been crazy. I'm getting one email per 14 days or something. I've had an issue with the print job they did, and it's been like 14 days, 15 now. It's how long it's been since I can get some sort of feedback from them and get this thing reprinted. However, they did send me a couple of what I actually ordered. They're missing a book. They're missing my supplemental book, which is crazy. They already sent me 2 shipments and forgot this supplemental in both shipments. Pretty crazy. But I do have some good work from. Speaking of, Zaid's in the house here. Zaid is in the chat. I think I'll open it up for people to come in a little bit here. But yeah, so check this out. This is what they did send me. I could open it up on stream, but I might not. This is the postcard that everyone gets. Star Circuit's got the QR code to the website, which now that I'm thinking about it, I might get rid of that website in like a year, but it'll still be cool to have the postcard like this, an original. And then, like I said, speaking of Zaid, I got his prints. This is the stretch goal for Zaid's input for Star Circuit. It's got a wrapper on it so you can see the glare, but also I've got my contrast up on my camera, so it looks way darker than it is. These came out actually really nice. This everybody gets as well. This is another 5x8. This is just a Star Circuit mini poster that you get. And then the last print stretch goal, everybody gets this awesome. I don't know if you guys can see. It's in like a halftone. Those are actually screen tones. So, well, not on the print obviously, but the original does. And dude, really cool. Good job on these prints. I'm actually happy with what they sent me here. And then the last bit, my favorite, is the poster came in. And it looks tight. So this thing is the, and I'll be rolling them up for you guys and putting them in cardboard within the box, but this is the Star Circuit poster. This is what comes with the essentials, I believe. I believe this is coming with the essentials. But yeah, this is the 24-inch. These are 11 by 17 posters in the back, so you can see how big this thing will be for you guys. But yeah, this looks awesome, right? So I'm stoked to get this out to you guys. I think this one came out perfect. This is actually what I wanted. Finally, I get what I want. But yeah, poster looks tight. Now if I can actually get the main book and the supplementals out here, it'll be great. The proof looked good on them, actually, for those. Let me grab that, actually. So I was actually happy with the proof for the supplemental. This is the supplemental layouts and design. Pretty cool. But yeah, it's exactly what I want it to be. I moved things around and made edits and whatnot. That's where you're seeing the circling in there. But yeah, it's got a lot of cool stuff. It's got all the layouts and pencils in the book that went to the first book. So it's cool to see it in that form. But yeah, that's what I'm waiting for Star Circuit. And yeah, so I hope you got your cup of coffee because we're going to be going deep into story right now. And yeah, I agree, Zaid. Freaking the poster, dude. The poster. I was so nervous about the poster. It's actually not that expensive. The prints are more expensive. Obviously, the books are more expensive, and whatnot. But yeah, it's interesting to say what you're most nervous about and what you're most like, I guess, worried about, like freaking out about. And I was just freaking out about the poster more than anything. I was like, dude, it's just more of a pain in the ass because I can't remember exactly how many times I went back and forth to get that poster to look right, but it was a lot. Just as many as all the rest. So I'm glad it came out good. Chris Fisk, what's up? Infantile, I believe that's how you say it. That book is awesome. Kurtz is here on Facebook. He says, "Send me that book, boy." Yeah, dude, Kurtz, if you knew the trouble I'm going through over here, I'm actually holding back from doing an official update on the Indiegogo because I'm waiting for the printer to actually give me a freaking real update, like a real, like, oh, we're gonna fix this by this date, or we'll start the printing process. I haven't heard from him, so I'm waiting for that so I can give you guys a not only the problem but the solution. I don't want to be like, oh, we got all these issues. You know, who knows when you're gonna get the book? I want to know, here's the issue, this is the problem, we got the solution for you, and so that's what I'm waiting for. Sorry that I usually update at the end of the month and I missed this one, which sucks. They're really screwing it up. So I don't know if I'll be able to recommend comic impressions in the future. However, it's how it goes. You know what I mean? In these hard times. So Matt Fowler's here. What's going on? I was going to take a suggestion on what to draw today as I talk because I've got a few more sketch cards to do, and I figured I'd draw one of those while we talk and whatnot. But yeah. Matt Fowler's up in here. Good to see you. And Zayd is saying, yeah, book is worth the perfection. Yeah, I'm trying to make it look awesome, dude. I did the pre-press stuff, I don't know, 2 or 3 times myself, back and forth. I spent an extra $150 on proofs back and forth from the printer. Still didn't like it. I paid another guy to do the pre-press stuff for me, and that's where we're at. I'm going to see if they can get approved for his stuff to make sure I get it as good as possible. I spent 4 years on this thing. I'm not going to let it out to the people who backed it for a half-assed presentation. You know what I mean? So that's how it goes, dude. Crazy nerve-wracking. I don't know how it is for you, and I know you've got a lot of experience with games and maybe have that kind of, you can relate. But yeah, super nerve-wracking. You say waiting in a third party can be frustrating. Yeah, I forget what scientists talked about this, but this is big. Before I do that, we got B-Rose in the house. Long time. Hail B-Rose, I miss hanging out with you, dude. It's been a while since I've been on your channel, and been a while since I've been in a lot of chats. I've been so heads down trying to get work done. I'm doing tons of work, but not a lot of out there and talking to people time. Anyway, I think a scientist I think I've heard this be talked about, where the frustrations that are in your control are stuff that you can manage. Like, that's the stuff that doesn't raise your cortisol. But the stuff that's outside of your control, like, a hurricane coming or whatever it is, in this case, a printer that just won't, as much as I do the right thing, there's they're not doing the right thing in reciprocation, that's out of my control. So that's the stuff that's just like spiking cortisol, probably making my eye twitch. That's what it feels like anyway. So everybody in the chat going bow or day. That's how they do it here. The crack folks are here. I'm glad they're here. Nothing against those folks. I like saying folks when I say, I don't know, the crack and folks. I don't know, something about it feels good. So Hale, we're gonna get started on this talk. So last night I watched freaking. If you guys seen this, let me pull up some stuff here. Let's pull up what I watched. It's called The Outsider on Netflix, and I saw it like come out like 2 years ago, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll check it out. It's with Jared Leto, so you're like, oh, he's kind of like a douche. So I'm like, do I actually go watch it or what? But let me just pull up like an image or something. And it's not the TV show; it's the movie, Netflix. Because The Outsider on the Stephen King adaptation is actually pretty good, but the movie, this thing, let's pull up this. I don't know if you've seen this around, guys, but this movie is Jesus. It's actually flows well. Its pacing's is fine. B-Ro says, avow the vow, dude. Look, I've known to disavow the vow, or the crack at one point. However, you know, I don't take these things to heart, dude. Zaid says, yeah, Joe's Superman bang curl isn't on fleek today. Jeans sound a little loose. Are you saying like, is that like your mom's house joke or something? I'm usually high and tight. I watched the movie yesterday in some crazy series called Oat Studios. Oh, you did? You watched The Outsider? Interesting. Anyway, I'm bringing it up on here. This is The Outsider, Jared Leto, and I was intrigued because it's in Japan. It's a period piece. I don't think they did a great job with making it feel, at least with the color correction and whatnot. It didn't feel like a period piece, so it felt like modern until you saw like a 1950s car, and you're like, okay, now I remember it's in that time. But nothing about the setting really made you feel that way, especially the way people talked. And what, anyway, that's world building. The problem here is the story, and this is what started this rant almost, or whatever this was that got me down this path. But it's really this clickbait title I made is clearly from stuff like this. So The Outsider, it brought up many things they did right and many things they did wrong. I recommend not watching it, but I'll tell you why you shouldn't. I think the story structure is okay, but I think the most blatant thing is not even something about structure. It's about Leto's just performance. I guess they directed this dude to have no character arc or emotion whatsoever. The dude he is literally the same guy at the beginning as the end, at least as far as his emotions look. Hey, no worries, Matt Fowler. You say it's the wrong movie. Which one were you talking about? Watch the one with Jake Gyllenhaal as a 911 operator. What is that one? Is that is that new? Or is that old? I don't know. Those eyeballs. Yeah, dude. Okay, so here's the big issue with it, and we'll talk about what's the secret sauce to amplify your stories, at least as far as I found so far. But dude, the secret sauce for at least this movie's problem, what they're missing is a clear, let's put it, the story does not serve or at least the execution does not serve the story. So when they wrote this script, they took easy way outs. And this goes to another thing, which I brought up and was prepared for. I don't know if you've ever read these 22 tips from Pixar, but it's one of their 22 tips. And it's clearly the biggest issue with this movie. So I'm going to bring up this. Oh, man. Hilarious. One second. Let's bring it up again. Should just bring it up as the window. That way I don't have to keep switching. Okay. All right, so I don't know if you've read these before, but these are 22 tips on Pixar storytelling. The formula. I wouldn't even call it a formula because these are not in formulaic. This is not in a formulaic, setup at all. Not one bit. They're just clearly random tips that they give. As you can see, you can read here and notice right away that they're not in any order. Okay, so here you admire a character for trying more than for their successes. So this is just a random tip. This is not, like I said, any structure. The one I'm looking for, that's clearly something that this movie also does wrong. But he's got a little bit of almost like the world that should be challenging is not as challenging as it's portrayed or as it should be. So the tip I'm looking for here is down here. Let's see. Right down here. I know you're here. I know you're here. Oh, maybe I passed it. Okay, in a second I'm just going to tell you about it instead. Alright. There's a lot of good advice in here, and it's great stuff, but what I'm looking for is one key thing. I don't know why I lost it. I highlighted it before and screwed this up. There we go. Number 19. There we go. Number 19, guys. Check this out. Coincidences. Let's zoom in. Coincidences to get characters into trouble are great. Coincidences to get them out are cheating. As far as a storyteller is concerned, that's cheating. What the audience, it feels like to an audience member, it feels like it's constructed. It instantly feels like your story is now not real. It's constructed just to get it done. Like the writer is just like, oh, let's just put this in here because that's what it needs to happen, and it'll make my job easier. The problem is, the whole point of telling stories is for the character to learn, for you to learn along with the character, and grow. That's the whole point of stories. It's why we tell them in the first place. Jeremy's bringing off the gun jams in the end right when the character needs it. Where? What are we talking about? What did I miss? Let me pull this up and see. I thought that he was talking about the gun in the first act, kind of saying, but I guess I was wrong. Chekhov's gun? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know if there's a whole lot of that. I think they do a decent job of like showing what later will happen, foreshadowing, that sort of thing. But coincidences, dude, so many times, just like literally. He'll be in what's his name, Leto. Jared Leto will be in a situation where he's like in a jam. He's got like things happening. Maybe he doesn't know like the right Japanese word because it's in a Japanese setting. He doesn't know what the right word to say, and then he's got to like talk to another guy to help him out. And literally anytime there's a jam, the story just goes. Just like a character will totally say some out of character thing just to push it and get him through scot-free. So let's find an example. The one I was just talking about, like where there's a translation and he doesn't know the right word, and maybe he says something that offended somebody, and you would expect the other character to be like pissed because he's like a gaijin and he's like saying bad things or saying things that they don't like. Out of nowhere, this dude, the Japanese guy, is just like, cool. He literally just says, cool. Like you'd expect him to be pissed, or like at least the story is leading it that way, where you'd expect him to have problems. Cool, whatever. So many times where like, he should be shot to hell, and just for some reason he's able to like get out of it. It makes no sense. Anyway, tons of this stuff in this movie. So yeah, we're gonna move on. I probably spent way too long on this part, but I highly suggest you go through these because, and like I said, I don't know why they call it a formula, because it's not a formula they're telling here. It is literally, the only formulaic thing they have here is this. Once upon a time, every day, one day, because of that, this is the formula. You just fill in the blanks and you got yourself a really good story. That's just how storytelling works. However, everything else is just stuff you should read and probably put in your stories. So I would just bookmark this thing. This thing's on nofilmschool.com. Anyway, that's what I like looking at when I'm like, I need something to like pep up my skills or something. Let's see. Yes, that's the rule. I can't remember exactly how that goes, but yes, I know that Chekhov's gun is essentially like when you're showing and not telling, you show the things you're actually going to use. And if you do the opposite, where it's almost like a lawyer in a courtroom, where if you're like, you can actually screw up your own case by saying the wrong things. And that's kind of what Chekhov's gun can work against you. You can show things, and I noticed this in a few stories in Comicscape books, and you'll show stuff that is never talked about again. You're just doing it for almost like a forced kind of look into the world. And since it's never used again, it's like confusing for the reader. It doesn't emphasize the theme, it doesn't emphasize what you're going for. Yeah, I get how it works. Totally forget the actual rule every time it comes up. But anyway, awesome stuff. This leads me to two other things. How to isolate all this into one thing, and like what I would say, distill it into one thing. Let's bring up Save the Cat here. This beat sheet. This helps me a lot. This is for screenwriters, but I use it for all my comics too. This is how you make an awesome story. Literally fill in the blanks and you come up with a good story, because there's a reason because of this, and this is what I'm going to explain. Just like a pitch should have like this ironic twist to it. Every good story has this ironic twist to it, because the nature of something ironic in a joke form is something that is clearly heading one way, and you do the exact opposite for the punchline, because that's what sells it. It's just like, you're just trying to get the most amount of drama out of the situations you're putting your characters in. So to do that, what you're going to want to do is amp it up. And when I say amp it up, like in my clickbait title, I mean you put the challenge in such opposition to the person that has to go through it that it seems impossible. So a person that is afraid of whatever, speaking in front of crowds, you put that person, he has to, I don't know, become president, or like has to, like, whatever, teach a conference or something. Put him in like such an insanely high level of that, like where he can't even speak to his friends, but now he's got to go talk to this giant 100,000 person stadium of people, and that's the journey. So just like in a joke, you give this ironic twist. That's exactly what you do with the story. So if you're having a problem with your story where you're having characters not, I guess, and this is another thing The Outsider did, was just like, it was, the movie was just meh, because they never pushed it to that next level. It never was one where, yeah, he's got to go fight these guys and he's got to go save this one guy, but nothing really was amped up. Like, there's no, like, he was just such a lukewarm character that everywhere he went, it didn't really bother him. There was no need for him to like dig down deep. I don't think he had a deep to dig down into, so that was the issue there. Zaid's bringing up a point here. We'll bring up his stuff here. Self-aware characters, how to. I'm not exactly sure what your how-to question is. You can either explain it or hold your thought, because I'm going to start drawing, and if you want to jump in, you can just talk to me about it. Otherwise, let me know what you mean. Before we do that, let's just dig down a little bit into this beat sheet. So a beat sheet is literally beats in a story, or just moments, key moments. It's like when you do, if you're familiar with animation, they're the stepped version of your animation. So a stepped animation is just the key poses, the most extreme pose. So if you got a guy punching, the key pose would be the arm pulled back in the right silhouette, and the end one would be him fully through, and all the in-between frames of the punch are the stuff you don't really need. So those are the beats. The beats in a story form would be, a beat for a story is girl and guy get in a fight, girl and guy separate, girl and guy make up. Those are the key points, you know what I mean? And it obviously is not that generic, but that's what, there's obviously a lot of in between there. However, in the beats, they're at this extreme point, and they're like the turning points of the story, if you would. So that's what they mean here. And so they Save the Cat, this book is incredible, and somebody made this little chart, and I like actually watching a movie and filling this out, or reading a book and filling this out, because it becomes clearly what you need to do. This is everything you need to do to make a good story. Sometimes it doesn't all the way fit, and there's a lot that you don't really understand if you haven't read the book or haven't read similar kind of instructional books of story. So I highly suggest it. However, stuff like this, I think The Outsider did okay. Like, I think the story was in 3 acts. I think it just wasn't amped up. Like, there was 3 acts. He was like this person in the beginning and this person at the end, but like there wasn't much of a contrast. And brings to the word the distillation of how to amp up your story is contrast. That's it. And make the character in the beginning white, not literally, and then in the end black, and that transition is the story. That's literally what the story is, and that contrast globally and in each scene is exactly what you should be going for. So that's all the advice I have. I don't have anything else to tell you, because I'm not that experienced, believe it or not. You should believe it, because I clearly don't have many works to talk about. So let's get into some drawing. Zaid has not written back with a yes or no about what he's talking about, or wanting to hop in. So I'm gonna play the trailer for Star Circuit, because Star Circuit is it is coming, believe it or not. Again, believe it or not. It's a cyberpunk book that has been long in the making. It's at the printers. I think it's like in limbo. It's just like it's angering me every day, and the printer is just delaying it. Anyway, let's watch the trailer. It's killer. It's, whenever you do read it, you're gonna be pretty stunned at how I feel like the world feels to you. It feels to me, if the world feels right, and I think it's a place you want to chill for a while. And so thank you all for supporting it so far. Let's watch the trailer as I move my cam.
Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the burner gangs don't find you first. Where the fastest racers are artificial. And if you're human, you don't stand a chance. Star Circuit.
Forgot to switch the cam back. So I see, I got a weird angle here because I can't find my little, my arm, my cam arm. So I'm just resting it on the mic, and I'm gonna draw it sideways. That way you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's see here. I'm looking at some comments. All right, so yeah, Zaid says, yeah, nothing funnier than Joe being serious. Not sure how to take that. So I mean, My comments are funny regardless. Let's see. So more of a how to approach self-awareness in writing. How to approach self-awareness. Not sure what that means still. That's maybe someone else can clear it up. I built a tabletop RPG that sets these into dynamically changeable cue cards for storytellers to shift the direction of the stories based on the player's actions. So it's like hinged. It's hinged to the player's actions. So it's almost like choose your own adventure, but like an awesome, better way to do that. Yes, nice and smart. Cool. Yep. Monster had an awesome quote on some stream. It ain't real unless the audience feel. Yeah. I think he said that on our stream as well. It ain't real unless they feel. Yeah. It is a good point. And I think that's the problem with a lot of that. So, Genuine Comics is up here. What's up? How you doing, Genuine Comics, Mr. Brink? So, True Talk. I don't know what that means. I don't know what True Talk means. Oh my god. All right, so here we go. Let me put on a light. Suddenly it got dark over here. I think it's because I'm using outside lighting here. But yeah, let's draw a little bit of something. And if you guys have any other advice, I like Chris Fisk has given some of his advice for, I know Genuine's here now. If you guys got any other advice on how you amp up your stories, cool. That's kind of how I wanted to deliver it. I kind of went on my own little spiral rant because, you know, The Outsider on Netflix definitely put me in that mood. It was quite frustrating to see a movie just like take the easy road. It was like, oh, we could make him have this hard climb and a hard like character growth moment, but we're just gonna be like, nah. Like, why bother, dude? This is just for Netflix. Now I can't find what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's draw some stuff. Last time I did an environment one. This time I'm just gonna do, I think, a profile of somebody. Let's do maybe a profile of Atlas. That would seem like a good idea. Or maybe another Hip. Hip has got a couple cards. Who have I not done is the question. Got some bikes, got an Atlas. I'm looking through all my cards. I'm like, what am I missing here? Let's just do a 3/4 of something here. Probably Atlas. Cool. And then I'll take a peek at the chat here in a sec. Derek Clay, what's up? Zane's cooming over here. It's cooming, dude. Hope not. Let's see. I'm sure there's a time and place for Jeremy. All right. So I'm looking at one or two things to help me get his head shape right. And usually if I like visualize the flat mask nature of the head, I usually get his head right. Pretty much the head in the round is maybe Jeremy would remind me. I don't know if you can see much. Just let me move this closer. Wouldn't it be easier to see it this way? Awesome. So yeah, I think just the act of watching The Outsider will make you want to like figure out what went wrong. Something like that. I feel like that's what the whole... I feel like when you do that for movies or whatever story, you end up getting better because you're noticing examples as you're thinking about them. So Somehow my brain didn't work there, and I was like, well, I'm not really looking at my guidelines as real guidelines. Q. Sometimes that happens. I had to do some weird maneuvering there. Started off weird. My brain like feel like wasn't working when I first started this head, or maybe like it started well and then like I forgot where I started at. All right, let's see. When's the Z0 game based this book coming out? Yeah, the F-Zero game. I know I've been wanting another F-Zero for a long time. Well, there's other things that like supplement my hunger for that, and that Fast RMX game is pretty F-Zero like. I go play some F-Zero on emulator sometime, but I'm playing Ride 4 right now because it's incredibly hard, so I'm using that as like a training ground for what I like and what I don't like about motorcycle games. Straight up, motorcycle games are like the Dark Souls, you know, From Software games of racing. Like you go play a like this is though it's a good training ground though. You go play a motorcycle racing game and you will instantly understand the racing line. And I'm sure after you play that, your every racing game after that will seem like nothing to you, because not nothing, but it teaches you the racing line. So like it shows you where you should go. Like it's impossible to ride and win in a motorcycle environment, you know, without knowing that. Like it just doesn't work because the physics just don't work. So like you're not able to not use the racing line. It's the only way to ride a track. So that's how it goes. Oh, that's weird that you went that late to Lady Butterfly, because I know you did the writing dude. I can't remember what that dude's name is. Yeah, I did Lady Butterfly much earlier. She's pretty tough. At least at first. I remember it definitely took me several to get through that lady. Sekiro's the best though. One of my favorite games. Road Rash. Yeah, there's like there's a difference between, I'd say, the arcade version of racing games, which are fun. It's like pretty much a gamey type of racing, which is fine. I think the Star Circuit version of whatever game will be a mix. I think that's what makes good video game, when you know what you want, when you know the direction. I think that's when any game becomes good, because without direction or just doing what was done before, it doesn't really get you anywhere. All right, let's see if I can isolate. Been just fooling around, noodling, and not really paying attention. Okay, this guy's looking a little bit more like Menno and not Alice. And that's because the wider chin, a few different things. Infinity, what's up, dude? Glad you're here. I know you review a lot of different stuff. Why didn't you get notified? Dude, I tell you what. I think this might be a good time for you guys to go like and subscribe. Maybe hit the bell if you want, but definitely just like the video. It's cool to spread the word that way. I forget all the things I can do on YouTube, dude. I really should be doing more things to promote. My brain is just fried from doing the work, the real work we all, love doing, but it takes time. It takes time to do the work. So I think his jaw just needs to go back a little bit more. All right. Wow, my hand is not doing what it wants to do. Or my hand is not doing what my mind wants it to do. Literally went the opposite direction. Chris says, yeah, just doing what was done before has damaged the video game industry. I think it's damaged everything. It's ever. Like all the... I feel like there needs to be some sort of like artistic regulation on how many sequels you can do. I mean, there's good and bad examples of that, but man, after generations upon generations of sequels are coming out and reboots, and then sequels on reboots, geez. Yeah, once your second reboot, I think there should be some regulation. Anyway, when PC games were shoehorned into consoles, all that lack of community-created content, the free R&D stagnated games. Yeah, pretty much. I think that's a good call. Though there are some artistic games that just stem from a good studio doing what they do right. Like the new Metroid game looks like the staleness of the Metroid series that kind of has been present, I think has been fixed with the help of Mercury Steam, because they're just a new developer. It looks like the problems with Metroid and even Super Metroid that came out way back has been the controls. They were just a little bit clunky, cumbersome, That was kind of the unwitty charm of it all. Anyway, Infinity says you should all draw your comics on YouTube so you can kill two birds with one stone. Yeah, it's a good point, but it's just hard to do. Like, I'm getting no work done because I have to talk to people, and I feel like I should be interacting because I'm never on here. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm looking forward to Metroid Dread because the studio is actually the studio working with Nintendo is great. They made the Castlevania Lords of Shadow game, which is great. They made several things that are great. They also made the Samus Returns one on the 3DS, which is I never got to play it, but I hear it was great, so I guess probably why they got this one. Anyway, yeah, the controls for the new Metroid game I think are fixed for the indefinite future. I think like it's the new cornerstone. It just looks like a blast to play. One hell of a blast to play. What I need is my Atlas reference. That would be great. There we go. Yeah. I knew it was the chin. Too big of a chin. And I usually chunk them up a little bit more. Let's do this. Now the top of the forehead is going to be an issue, but we'll mess around with it. So we're just going to keep sliding down the top of the head until it matches up. Let's see. Zaid's saying He has been doing that. Yeah, he's been drawing on stream quite a bit. Drawing book on Stray. On Stray. That's how we do it. Zaid's driving out in the country. Cool. Fist says, yeah, that's why indies and smaller studios are where the creativity still exists. When I worked in AAA, game pitches all consisted of, it's like insert game here. Yeah, that's definitely the best part about indies. It's like the originality's there. Even if you have like a spin on something, there's like something weird about the execution or something weird about like one of the elements that kind of changes it up. And I think that's what makes it all special in the first place. So I'm gonna spin this way that way you can kind of see it more. Sorry, but my camera setup it's been shoddy for a long time, but today's been extra shoddy. One large nose. Trying to figure out where this line's at. That's where we want it. When will Fist play Beckon, dude? I appreciate Joe for asking me to guest artist the interior for Sorcerer 2. It's really an honor. On my stream wish list, just waiting What's up, Collision Bomb? Howdy. We're drawing Atlas from Star Circuit right now. Cool. Where's my eraser? There we go. Let's clean this thing up. Trying to figure out the width of the shoulder in this perspective is, whenever I don't draw the whole torso at first, I can never find. Maybe I'll be able to use the paper behind it. That might actually help. But I can never. I told you I can never find where things are. This will be his pecs. Shoulder would be somewhere there. I appreciate it, Chris. It's definitely like you don't really notice how much work until you really pay attention, especially somebody that's not like a master like myself. But I feel like if you go watch, not saying it's not as, it's definitely entertaining. If you go watch like somebody like Kenneth Rogeford or somebody like that, who was in the chat earlier, you kind of see a totally different side of art because he's got such a mastery of everything that he's past this stage of like he still has to figure things out, but it's on like a different kind of mental level. A lot of what I'm figuring out on paper, and Zaid will attest to this, not necessarily has to be, you can figure this out in your head. If you draw enough, if you are, really familiar with what you're drawing, you can visualize it easier. But like I said, I haven't been drawing all week, so like my brain isn't working. I usually probably can visualize a little bit easier than this. However, it's where it's at right now. So Atlas, baby, he's coming together. This will be a good sketch card for somebody. And the best part about doing sketch cards on stream is that I can even like put a note in the backer package to be like, you can, go watch this one. It's on stream. It's on the YouTube video. Looks a little slouchy for Atlas's style, so I'm gonna have to like move the shoulder again. Even with knowing where it is, the style is not his. So I'll have to do this off stream though, guys, because it is time for me to get off. I'm gonna scoot that over too. Let's see here. Yep, definitely. Studio Zayd says, like watching a grand tree grow and fast forward. The little branches of choice taking form and determined. Yep. Focus your mind's eye. It's like an exercise of the muscle. The images get clearer and more vivid. Indeed, it's tough, and I feel like you're right. It's a muscle. So like I was saying, this whole couple weeks, I've not exercised that muscle in a while. It's a little stiff, and I think like being on stream, what's hard for me is because like I have like, you know, I probably say like a tiny corner of my mind that's got anxiety about the stream. You know what I mean? So like my mind can go there instead of going to making the right choices. So I think that's like a thing, you know, for sure. I think it's what a lot of people have trouble with drawing on stream, because my mind's focused on the chat, focused on talking, focused on, is it loud enough? You know, am I on topic still, or you know what I mean? Like all those things enter instead of trying to make the right artistic choices. Great stream, awesome storytelling tips. Chris, you're awesome, dude. I appreciate you coming by. Your book's awesome. Everybody check out Infantile. I always think I'm saying it wrong when I say it. But go check it out on Indiegogo. Go check out Zayd's got a sign-up page as well. Whoever's a mod, Jeremy, you want to put in your link? Maybe you can find Chris's link real quick if you want to do some of the work. No, you're driving. Never mind. Maybe I'll be able to do it real quickly. Get a couple links up in here. So yeah, Star Circuit is still available. It's going to be available for a while, and we have backers every week, so check it out. Though that's in the description, so I'm not going to put that up there, but I will put up Infinitale. There we go. That's why I'm always saying it. It's not Infantile. Infinitale. That's how you would say it. Infinitale Chronicles, The War of the Trees. That's the full name. Not how I butchered it before. But yeah. So let's put that in here real quick. Go back. Infinitale. Okay. Coleman's showing up. What's up? And then I'll throw in the last one. Let's see here. Back in Recourse. Jeremy's book. Put it in here as well. Hopefully I spelled Recourse right. So go check out both those projects. Go back Star Circuit because it's the only thing I have not found anything anywhere close to what I'm doing with Star Circuit at least. So definitely go check it out. Maybe I can pull up my numbers just to show you guys where we're at with this thing. Don't want to dox myself. Oh, there we go. Okay. We're at $18,734, 356 backers, killing it. Let's get to 19,000 and on and forward. So I appreciate it all from all you guys that have been waiting patiently for this book. It's like I said, we've got all the stretch goals and stuff now, except for we're missing the main book, the supplemental, and the variant. We're like waiting on the main chunks of everything from the printer because yeah, they've been slow to make and slow to contact. So. Sorry about the wait. However, we'll see you next time on Cup of Joe. Hopefully I have a better update for you all. I'm going to finish this card and get back to I'm coloring a sweet book that you may have backed. So I will catch you all next week. Thanks for showing up. Thanks, Zayd. Special thanks to Chris. And who else was chatting us up way earlier? Infinity has been around. And yeah, Kenneth Rokerford was up in here for a second. Thank y'all. I'll see you guys next week.